I've never been a fan of goodbyes, but this one will be harder than most. This car marks the end of an era for Jaguar and the end of its internal combustion engines. Pretty soon, Jaguar will go all electric. And in case you missed its controversial rebrand late last year, here's what Jag will look like in the future. But that's not why we're here. Today we're here for one last hurrah. This is the Jaguar F-PACE SVR 575 Ultimate Edition. And a warning, you might need tissues for this one. The British marque has spent 9 decades honing its craft and is renowned for building cars with speed, prestige and supreme handling. As you might have guessed, this big cat delivers all three in spades. It's a supercharged, fire-breathing send-off to 90 years of Jaguar heritage. And what a send-off it is! And did I mention there's only 60 of these coming to Australia? Under the bonnet is a 5-litre supercharged petrol V8, borrowed from cars like the F-PACE SVR, as well as other JLR products. And power is sent to all 4 corners. 575 horsepower, which is 423 kilowatts, and 700 Newton meters. It is an absolute weapon. But this has been turned up another notch. It is the most potent version of Jaguar's last V8. And it's able to hurdle this 2.1 ton beast from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in a claimed 4 seconds. It is seriously rapid. It is brutally fast with almost zero hesitation. The bark of it alone will be enough to give you goosebumps. There's a button just down here, and if you're anything like me, it'll become your best friend. It opens up the bimodal exhaust and, like I said, goosebumps. The steering is so precise. You know exactly what the car's doing underneath you. And for such a big SUV, it actually feels really nimble. But you can get a little silly with it too, and in its sportiest drive mode, which is dynamic, what we've got it in now, it becomes a rear-biased menace, and it sends around 90% of torque to the rear wheels. It is such an encouraging car to drive, and the gearbox is so snappy. Power delivery is so effortless, and it comes from such a low rev range, and it just goes, it just keeps pulling. It is so much fun. But dial it back to comfort mode and it's like a different car. It's composed, compliant. It's still on the firmer side in terms of suspension, but it's not jarring or uncomfortable. It's just a car that you don't have to drive at crazy, outrageous speeds to have fun in. Yes, that helps a little bit, but it's still just as good and extremely pliable in regular driving situations. Just about the only thing that has annoyed me driving this car have been some of the more sensitive driver aids, but even those can be turned off at the flick of a button, or 2 flicks of the button I should say, and it just turns the sensitivity to low so you don't get the traffic sign warnings beeping at you when it's picking up the speed sign incorrectly, which it can do on occasion. But yeah, as I said, you can quickly flick it off, but you've got to do it every time you get in the car. And it is a little bit annoying, but it's, you know, I could live with that. The not so great news is fuel consumption, which, as you might have guessed, being a V8, isn't really good. And if you intend on exploring the upper limits of this car, you should probably also intend on exploring petrol stations pretty often, because you're going to be filling it up a fair bit. It's thirsty, but I think you probably know that if you're buying a V8. I probably don't need to tell you too much about the interior because it's a Jag, so of course it is a highlight, and fit and finish is fantastic. And I'll tell you a few things while we're here anyway, because I might as well. These are semi-aniline leather-clad sport seats. They're slimline and they hug your body really well, so I really like these seats. I think over a longer drive they might become a little bit uncomfortable, but you've got 14-way adjust for the driver and lumbar support as well, which is nice. Another thing I like, this suede headliner. This is really nice, although you do get a lot of handprints and things on it. So if you're a bit OCD and you like to have it all looking nice and smooth, you probably need to get one of those little like brushes and brush it so it's all Anyway, doesn't matter about that. Carbon fiber inlays on the dash, that's another little nice feature. And then of course this 11.4 inch PV Pro infotainment unit, which is really good clarity, it's really responsive, and it's got all the tech gadgets that you'd ever need. So yeah, it feels pretty special in here, but there is one thing that I really don't like, and it's how you operate the climate control. And it's not because it's built into the touchscreen like a lot of new cars nowadays. It's actually on this piano black panel just below the touchscreen, and it's unnecessarily difficult to press the buttons because, well, actually I don't know why, because it's just really difficult. You've got to give them a really hard press, and the whole panel sort of depresses each time you press a button. And like, you've got to, I'm gonna break my finger trying to press the buttons. It's just like, why is it so hard? The F-PACE offers seating for 5, and this second row is pretty spacious enough for 2 adults. And in these outboard seats, which do come heated by the way, I've got plenty of headroom here, not as much in this slightly higher middle seat, so I wouldn't really like to be the person that's sat there. But yeah, legroom's pretty good too, although this is in my driving position and I'm 166 centimeters tall, so I dare say most people that are driving this car would be a little bit taller than that, so you'd have a little bit less legroom. But amenity is good. You've got this center armrest, 2 cup holders here, 2 USB-Cs and a 12-volt outlet, and then you've got some pretty useful but kind of small door pockets on either side. Visually, it's very aggressive. This is one tough looking SUV, but it kind of needs to be because it is the ultimate edition. Up front, you've got the SVR badging here, but there's nothing else on the outside to really say that is the ultimate 575 horsepower edition. That's okay though. You do get this Sorrento yellow paint job, which is loud enough in my opinion. And to be honest, I probably would be going for one of the other handful of color options that there are, because this is just too much for me. But let us know what you think in the comments. Would you go for a bright taxi cab yellow paint job on your performance SUV? I'm not sure. Anyway, some other things you get: gloss black accents all round. These 22-inch alloy wheels are staggered width, so they're a little bit wider at the back. And then there's loads of air intake, so in the bonnet here, down here, and that keeps the nose down because this thing is capable of very high speed, so it needs to be stable. The F-PACE SVR 575 Ultimate Edition is more than just a fast SUV. It's a statement, but it's also a farewell. A V8 powered love letter to everything Jaguar once was and will probably never be again. The Ultimate is available in very limited numbers, and here, as tested, it'll set you back a cool $182,000 before on-road costs. So, should you buy one? Well, if you love driving, love performance SUVs, and you want to own a piece of automotive history, or even just Jaguar history, well, yes, you should. And you should do it while you still can. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching. And while you're there, what do you think of Jaguar's move to electrification? Can a car like this ever be topped with electric power? Let us know in the comments.